I'm Mike Huckman at the Bio Buzz Center, where I'm pleased to welcome Dave Thomas with the Biotechnology Industry Organization, and where he is the Senior Director of Industry Research and Policy Analysis. Dave, thanks for being here. You guys are out with a new report just ahead of this year's convention that is focusing on the small emerging companies, essentially a pulse check of the health of that particular subsector. What did you think was the most interesting finding in your report?
Well, overall, most of the areas that we looked at shows a sign of health for the public markets and some of the licensing and acquisition activity. But one of the most interesting things was, in fact, the clinical pipeline for the small companies. We found that 70% of all the clinical programs out there are actually overall are being developed by small companies. Mm-hmm. And more interesting is that 43% of those are actually partnered.
So what does that tell you?
So that tells me that the dependence on the collaborations is very high in our industry. So it makes events like this at Bio critical. You know, all those partnering meetings that are going on right now over the next 3 days are instrumental to forming those collaborations to get through the big hurdles that these companies face developing drugs.
Dave, there was another set of statistics in your report that I found somewhat interesting, and that was between 2008 and 2011, there was not one preclinical or phase 1 IPO, but from 2012 to 2014, there were nearly 24 preclinical or phase 1 IPOs. What does that say about either the science, the regulatory or policy environment, and the Wall Street environment?
Yeah, I think that the appetite has definitely come back for biotech. It came back because we have new science and technologies that weren't around really 10 years ago that have really progressed, and a lot of investors are seeing that. We also had a policy enacted in 2012, the Jobs Act, and that really allowed investors to communicate with the company management on a level that hadn't been there before. And I think that opened things up in 2013. And now in 2014, we actually had the record in all of biotech history, a record number of IPOs overall.
So it was kind of a confluence of all these things coming together?
Yes, absolutely.
To have kind of this perfect storm, if you will, of preclinical and phase 1 IPOs.
Right, and as a percentage, the preclinical and phase 1, it is a smaller percentage, but investors see those technologies as so hot, they want it now.
And if people want to see this, read this report?
Yes, they can download the report at bio.org/emerging company report.
All right, Dave Thomas, the Senior Director of Industry Research and Policy Analysis at Bio. Thanks for joining us here at the Bio Buzz Center.